Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to have a talk about double legendaries, and specifically with the Paladin. The reason why is Paladins actually have a lot of pretty good legendaries that are going to be good in very specific scenarios in both rating and in plus, and kind of what can be used, because the Paladin, Protection Paladin, is not exactly a tank where, hey, make this one legendary, it's great in every single scenario, and that's all you ever need. Like, for example, Blood Decay, really all you ever need is the Crimson Rune Weapon and Super Strain. Just make those, you're fine, use them as you see fit. Paladins have a lot of different ones, right, that can allow you to kind of play around a little bit. So first we're going to talk rating. So if you're looking for like a generic rating legendary that you can make right now, the Mad Paragon. Hammer of Wrath deals 30% additional damage and extends the duration of Avenging Wrath by 1 second. This is very powerful for DPS, but as well, Hammer of Wrath gives you another source of holy power while Wings is active or in execute phase. And having more holy power means more Shield of the Righteous, means more holy, your holy word procs on your 5th, every 5 holy words. Sorry about that. It's shining light. That's what it is. Every 5 Shield of the Righteous makes your next holy word free. Holy word of glory. My apologies. So this is very, very powerful all around. It's a very good staple for raid. But if you want to play a little bit more defensively in raid, what you can do is you can make the Arden Protector Sanctum. So when Arden Defender saves you from death, it restores 40% additional health, which is okay. But the effect that's really good here is when Arden Defender expires without saving you from death, reduce its cooldown by 40%. This is going to give you a 40 to 45 second Arden Defender with the Conduit that reduces its cooldown as well. So this is a very powerful legendary. It's just not super great on its own, except very situationally. But we're going to get into this one a little bit more in Mythic Plus. Next up is a fairly powerful defensive legendary called the Magistrates Judgment. So Judgment has a 45% chance, basically 50, come on. So every 2 judgments this should occur, to reduce the cost of your next holy power spender by 1. So this is Shield of the Righteous or Word of Glory, reducing its cost from 3 holy power to 2. This is actually a fairly powerful defensive effect, as well as giving you a minor offensive effect as well with more Shield of the Righteous. And as long as you can pair it with your Judgment, giving the 25% increased damage to your next holy power effect, aka Shield of the Righteous, will give you some DPS effect, not to the lines of Mad Paragon, mind you, but will allow you to use Word of Glory with 2 and keep you alive a little bit longer. This is a little bit more defensive as a whole, but paired with the double legendary of the Venthyr Covenant in rating can be very, very powerful as well, but will reduce your DPS effectiveness because you're not going to be able to keep your wings up as long and things like that. So for rating, I would recommend, if you're just looking for one and done, Mad Paragon. Really, really good, really solid. If you're looking to play in more situational effects, for example, the Arden Protector Sanctum, if you're an item level 250 Paladin right now, which chances are it's a fair item level to be at going into Heroic Raid, for Skull-X, for example, this one here is actually a really, really solid option all around. It's going to give you way more Arden Defenders because those Riftmaw casts can really, really hurt in Heroic if you're not perfectly timing out all of your defensives, because as we all know, if you've played Paladin at all, Paladins have really, really good defensives. They just can't be used as often, where Arden Defender is your kind of most often, the one that you can use the most frequently. Now, with raid talents, I would be using Unbreakable Spirit, which reduces it down to a 1.4 minute defensive right off the bat, which can be further reduced down as well. Now, I'm just in kind of questing mode, so I don't need it as much because Xerath Mortis isn't hard to live through. So these are the 3 legendaries that I would recommend if you have the gold, if you have anything. Magistrate's Judgment, I don't know. if I was going to tier these on what to make first, I would go Mad Paragon, Ardent Protector Sanctum, and then if you think you want it or need it, Magistrate's Judgment. But that's what it would be looking like for Raid. Now let's talk about Mythic Plus. So with Mythic Plus, you have 2 legendaries because your chances are you're going as Kyrian. Nightface fun in Torghast, but not great in Mythic Plus at all. And Necrolord is basically a joke in most Mythic Plus scenarios. Not saying it's not doable, it's just nowhere near as good as Divine Toll. Sorry. So when you're playing Kyrian Protection Paladin, you have 2 options right now going in with a singular legendary. You have Divine Resonance. After casting Divine Toll, you instantly cast Avenger's Shield every 5 seconds. This makes you a one-man kicking machine, as well as will give you extra defensiveness because that Avenger's Shield will also proc off the first Avenger, so you'll hit 5 things, you'll get another shield. Every 5 seconds it just goes, and it's very, very nice. This is what most people are running when you start getting into higher keys, where survivability is more important than the amount of damage that you're putting out. The other good legendary, since that is actually the Covenant one, is Righteous Fury, Bulwark of Righteous Fury. Avenger's Shield increases the damage of your next Shield of the Righteous by 30% for each target hit by Avenger's Shield, stacking up to 5 times. And it increases the radius of Shield of the Righteous by 6 yards. So it makes it a much bigger frontal, and every cast of Avenger's Shield, every single cast will increase your Shield of the Righteous damage, allowing you to really pump out a lot of AoE damage. And this is very, very strong for Paladins right now. When I'm not running Divine Resonance in keys where I'm more worried about dying than my DPS, I'm running Righteous Fury, because you can, Divine Toll, spam Righteous Fury. You can easily hit 50, 60k if you've got wings up when you're doing it. It's super strong. So this is the scenario where the legendary for Kyrian is already one of your go-tos. So combining it with Bulwark of Righteous Fury is going to have a lot of synchronicity. Yes, I think that's the word. With itself already, because you're going to get more Shield of the Righteous damage with Divine Resonance. These two pair very, very well together, and I'm super excited to see how absolutely broken these are going to be, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun to play with together. Now, one of the combinations that I've been looking at for Mythic Plus Kyrian is the Arden Defender. And the reason why this matters a little bit more is when you get into higher keys where survivability is actually an issue, having your Arden Defender being able to proc every 40 to 45 seconds is super strong. So what Arden Defender does, and this is where we kind of need to talk about this a little bit more, it reduces all damage you take by 20%. Good DR, nothing crazy, but a good damage reduction. But while Arden Defender is active, the next attack that would otherwise kill you will instead bring you to 20% of your maximum health. This will give you a cheat death that will bring you back to 60% health every minute and 4 seconds with this legendary, or give you a 20% damage reduction every 40 to 45 seconds, approximately, when combined with the Conduit, which you should absolutely be running. And let's talk about that Conduit real quick here. It is the Resolute Defender. Shield of the Righteous extends Ardent Defenders by 20% and reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds for every Shield of the Righteous. So what you do when you start a pack, which is very, very strong here, is you hit Ardent Defender, you hit Divine Toll, you blast Shield of the Righteous because you're going to fill your Holy Power bar 2 to 3 times over, so you're going to extend its duration very long anyway, making the initial pull of big packs much safer for you, and it's going to reduce its cooldown automatically, allowing you to get a lot more Ardent Defender procs. This is why this legendary here, combined with Divine Resonance, is going to make Paladins incredibly tanky in high-end Mythic Plus keys. So if you're a new tank and you're really more worried about your survival than your damage right off the bat, I would go with Arden Defender Sanctum after you have the Divine Resonance belt. Right now, we're a couple of weeks away from getting Divine, the Memory of Unity, which allows you to cast allows you to use the Covenant Legendary alongside of another Legendary. So if you're a brand new Pally tank right now, I'd wait on making Divine Resonance. If you're strictly focusing on Mythic Plus, and make Bulwark or Righteous Fury, because that one's going to be a lot more fun for you all around, and is a very, very strong effect. Don't get me wrong, very, very strong effect. But if you're looking at really progging high-end keys, and what high-end is to you is not the same to everyone else. It could be 20s, it could be 15s, it could be 25s, 30s, whatever it is for you. Arden Protector Sanctum is going to be a staple for staying alive, making big pulls much safer for you, and just generally taking a lot less damage. Especially it's super, super powerful. It's really good. I think this is going to be an absolute sleeper. As for the other ones, I would really not worry about it too much at all. The Avengers Engraved Sigil still remains not a bad legendary, but it's really not. It's not all that in a bag of chips, if pardon the saying. So these two here would be the ones that I would focus on for Mythic Plus, the Arden Protector Sanctum and Righteous Fury. This is going to get a lot more, the Arden Protector Sanctum is going to get a lot more stocks risen when the double legendaries come out, because Divine Resonance is insanely good, but this allows you to play more offensively with Righteous Fury or more defensively with Arden Protector Sanctum, depending on what you need. So these are two, so I already have this Righteous Fury made, but I am absolutely going to be making Arden Protector Sanctum when the time comes around that I'm going to need it. Although I had a lot of talks with the Mazarok Community Guild community down below, check that out, on having Ardent Protector Sanctum for Heroic Skull-X at lower item levels. And this is because the Riftmaw casts occur frequently, and if you do not time your taunt swaps, your defensives correctly, this could be an absolute game changer. You're going to lose some DPS, of course, but this could really let you to get a lot more defensives, a lot more cheat deaths out there, and just really play it a lot safer, because really at the end of the day, your tank, your main goal is survivability. But if survivability isn't a question for the content you're doing, then you play a little bit more offensively. So this is where Paladins get a lot of Lego choices. So aside from that, my guild Bloodstorm on the Frostwolf, Rivendare, Vash realms is still absolutely recruiting for Andy and all roles. Come on by, check that out. I would love to hear from you guys down below if you're interested in maybe joining. I'm starting to recuperate from COVID. So I'm looking at maybe starting a raid night and things like that, and really, really working on the guild a lot more. If that's something you would like to do and you're looking for a guild to join, you can always message me in the Mazarok Community Discord. It's the same Discord down below. Check that out. Love to hear from you guys. Aside from that, thank you very much for all of the support and everything like that. And if you'd like to support me a little bit further, just hit that subscribe button. It really, really does go a long way as we go along in the 9.2. And I hope you guys are enjoying this patch as much as I am. Have yourselves a good day, and thank you very much for your time.